every year I just kind of have different aha moments. My first year, it was really targeting the MSV and realizing the errors they were making and how I can help track that and put that into my teaching in small groups. This year, my biggest takeaway is the comprehension piece. I have a lot of students reading on higher levels, NOP, and a few a little higher. And so it's been interesting to try and enrich them, build on their comprehension, and take them as far as I can with that.
Today we're going to read a book. It's called The New Girl by BAS. If you want to follow along at the bottom, right here. It says, Nora's mother works in the army and her family has to move to a new place. We're going to read to find out what happens when Nora tries to meet new friends. Sound good? Mm-hmm. All right.
The New Girl. I finally made some friends here, and now we have to move again, and so it's all. I just have one connection about next year because I'm kind of going to be the new girl at Westside.
Yeah, you are. I was wondering if you're going to have that connection there. All right. Can you talk to me about what happened in this book?
Well, there was this girl, and I forgot her name, but she was a new girl, and they had to move a lot because she lived in the army because they were an army family.
The BAS assessment helps me kind of flexibly group my kiddos to see initially where we need to start with for our reading instruction, and help kind of guide them on their level. But quickly, we kind of move into strategy groups and I see where their strengths are or where they might have some gaps in their learning. And then I'm able to kind of slowly form some new groups to work on comprehension or expression and fluency, or different skills that they might need. Today with this student, it tells me that she has a very strong foundation of recalling and being able to comprehend within the text and even beyond the text, answering how and why questions. And for this specific student, she really needed a little bit, well, in the future, she'll need a little bit more help filling in those gaps and maybe me teaching some one-on-one skills with her about inferring beyond the text of what the writer meant when they had a student smile because of a comment or something like that. I make a lot of check marks of where they answered the questions that I wanted, or they answered the question correctly, and I make those check marks, and I'll also add their commentary. So if it wasn't on the paper, I always try and get a few notes. That way I can go back and look and see exactly what they said or maybe why it wasn't quite what the text was looking for. And that's super helpful because then I can take it, I can go to the continuum and pull out some more information and goals that we could work on for them. I try and make any immediate notes that I might forget because you're testing so many kids in a day sometimes. I try and always get a few notes on there about whether I noticed accuracy right off the bat or fluency or comprehension, or if there were some confusing MSV. For example, this student had one where she inserted, then she didn't say a word, but then she went back and repeated it. I might make a point before I call up the next child to go back, make sure that I've correctly recorded that so I don't forget. And then later during my planning is typically where I'll be able to sit down and actually focus on all the ones that I gave for that day. I'm making notes and I'm going to need to go back and refer to those notes. I always keep them together. I keep everything in a binder for the whole year. And once I'm done testing for the beginning of the year or the middle or the end, I keep all my instructional notes. That way I can constantly go back and see if the child has made improvement or am I on track to what we should have been targeting for their skill gap. And I find that really helpful. All of my other students are working on read to self or in their book clubs. we have a total routine. They come in, I have students get on iRead. I have another group that gets to get on iPads for partial time. And then I have another group that'll be working on book club or read to self, depending on what point of the year we're in. And it goes very smoothly. It's something we practice a lot, and when we're not doing it right, we go back to our seats and we try it again, just because it's super important that whatever child I'm testing back here has the respect and the quiet in the room, so that way they can focus on what they need to. It really wasn't bad at all, because we were just very, I wouldn't even say strict, it was just very deliberate in our routine, and this is the purpose. We always go back to the purpose of what we're doing, and if you're quietly reading to self, the purpose is to become a better reader. And we can't do that when we're talking to our neighbors, or other neighbors can't do it if other people are talking. Don't let it overwhelm you. Stay organized. Keep your checklist. And I think just you're having a conversation with your kids. Don't think of it as testing. Think of it as a conversation and reading together to see where it is that they need to be placed so you can best help them.